What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Real Talks with Chris Seward, where we get to talk to real people about real problems. We get to talk to ordinary people who lead extraordinary lives, and I can't think of someone better to have today than our very own Mr. London himself. He is a coach. He is a gosh darn good history teacher here for Liberty North High School. He's terrible at fantasy football. You don't want to take his advice on that, okay? Don't do that, okay? But without further ado, folks, let's give it up for Mr. Calab London. What is up? Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, well, I didn't ask how you're doing yet. I didn't get to that point.
I'm going to ask.
He just immediately assumed I was going to say how you doing.
I'm always going to ask you how you're doing. We're friends.
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Life treating you well, man?
Man, life's been good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
I do have something to say, though.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me I'm a bad fantasy football player?
Because it's true.
Chris, the only time you have won our league is when you had changed the rules the season before. Other than that, this man has done terribly every single year. And your picks are worse to Aaron's. Your picks are worse to Aaron's and your trades.
Has never come close to sniffing the trophy. And we might have to bring the trophy on later in today's set. Okay?
I'll let you know I've gotten second three times. I've made it there. So just saying.
let's get this ball rolling here. So you are a history teacher. Trivia question of the day. We'd love to get started off with this here. Who was the first American to win the Nobel Peace Prize? I'm going to let you think about that. If you don't know, feel free to answer in the comments. Feel free to answer. Give us a call about this, okay? We'll reveal this at the end of the episode unless you know the answer right now. In 3, 2, 1.
I'll be honest with you. I don't have nothing.
This man is a history teacher, and he doesn't know the first American to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah. We're going to bring our crew in on this here. We got Colton, the cameraman, folks. Let's see if he knows what it is.
Wrong. Is it Thomas Jefferson?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is it a scientist? Is it a scientist?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No, it is not.
I'm just asking.
Scientist. But you can't see him in South Dakota. You can't see him in South Dakota, though.
So one of the presidents on Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, we're going to start there. I'm going to give you
some time to think about it.
You only get one opportunity, one more guess on this.
Okay.
Since you are an American history teacher, folks. We're going to see if you know it, okay? But let's go ahead and get this ball rolling here. So school just started for you guys, right? How's it going?
It's been good, man. It's been a pretty good year. The kids are learning. I mean, it's been good for the most part. I mean, it's obviously with a new year, you're going to have different challenges and things, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying and kids are learning a lot, so it's been pretty good.
Now, you teach American history and world history,
world history,
right?
Yep.
Now, which one do you prefer between those two?
Honestly, I prefer both. I mean, my wheelhouse is American.
Can you prefer two things?
Yeah.
No,
well, if you have passion for something, it's within the Roman context of history.
Okay.
So I see things from that area where American history affects world history, and world history definitely affects American history. Okay. So there's a lot of parallels that we see right there.
So what made you choose history to teach as a topic?
I would just say when I was younger, I've always enjoyed history, learning about it, just kind of understanding all the different things. My dad was my first history teacher, and then all throughout the years.
That's cool.
Yeah. All throughout my years, I've had some really good history teachers that helped me learn a lot, and it just always spoke to me. And just kind of looking at things over the years, and when I got into college, I'm like, hey, I think I'd be good at teaching. I was told I would be good at teaching, and every day when I go into work, it doesn't feel like work. It's something I really enjoy to do. Now,
when it comes to teaching, right? Are you the cool history teacher that puts on like history, like the old history shows for people? Or are you the teacher that's like, we got a quiz on Monday, don't be late?
Honestly, I'm like a little bit of both. I mean, my students over the years have realized, hey...
That means he's not the cool teacher. Just saying, keep going.
Well, I mean, we can go there, but I know you didn't do good in school at certain points. But we'll talk about it another day. But I feel like I'm kind of a little bit of both. I mean, my kids always have enjoyed my class. I always let them have fun and have a good time. But also let them know, like, hey, we got business we got to take care of. So if you want to talk and do things you want to do, hey, I'm all for that. But we have to get these several things done before we get to that task. So I've kind of always operate off of that.
Do your students know how bad you are at fantasy football?
No, because they actually come and ask me for fantasy football advice. So I'm just going to let you know there's some good results.
This is a moment right there, folks. That is a bad moment.
How do you turn that on anyway? How do you turn that on?
You push the little go. It's becoming a feature of our podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Well, everyone needs to know, do not buy Chris's overpriced fantasy football rankings. They are terrible. Cameron, Dante, especially you, we all know how bad they are. Even the GOAT knows.
So... Even the goat, folks. I'm going to tell you a funny story about that, by the way. Okay, so I think you were not involved in the prank, so you were good.
Okay.
Like you got out of it. But this was when TikTok was becoming a thing, right? And so everyone's doing all these these videos, you know, on like who's your favorite character, who's your favorite whatever, you know, TikTok dances and trends, all that stuff, right? And I convinced everyone. I actually spared your life on this.
No,
okay?
I know where you're going with this story. You can say it, but I'm gonna give you my
we're sharing the
recollection.
story though. So I told people to send me a video because I'm gonna put together a TikTok of who the GOAT was in their opinion. Who the GOAT was? Tom Brady, right? So everyone's telling me, oh, it's Tom Brady. He's got all these rings, and I'd mix up the prompts a little bit. Like I think I asked one person, I was like, who's the most intelligent person in the football league, right? And so they said Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a Harvard man, and so I took all these things.
Yep, I know where you're going.
Which makes sense. And I put it together in one video as one commercial for Christopher Stewart Fantasy Football Rankings, and all of my competition was telling the camera how incredible of a fantasy football player I was, which is true, by the way. It's backed by evidence, all these things. We do a great job here.
All right.
And, it's we'll have to roll the tape sometime, but, that was pretty good.
To add to that, when you sent me that prompt, I knew something was fishy because of all the stuff you have done over the years is try to get people like, oh, let me see if I can get them with something. And I knew when you sent that, I'm like, I'm not even going to respond to this because I already knew. And you did exactly what I expected you to do. Use that as propaganda for your fantasy football rankings. So, but hey, it's got you some money on the side, so I can't blame the side hustle.
So
even though you have not won, the only time you have won is when you had changed all the stats and all the rankings and PPR,
I did not
all that stuff.
change
The
stats.
season before we start, you changed stuff. But after that, it's been, this is my year. This is my year.
I'm going to tell you right now.
No, you do worse than Dante. Because Dante said every year is his year. You try some most bizarre strategies, and they never work.
So
they never work.
This is all I'm going to say. If you're looking for a person that's going to help you manage your fantasy football team, you're looking for someone that's going to give you the best possible fantasy football advice of all time, okay? It's going to be huge, right? Fantasy football advice, Christopher Stewart, okay? It's the only way to go, okay? And you can count on that. Take your money to the bank on that.
You're going to want a refund on your money.
I want to come back to this teaching topic, though, okay? I want to bring it back a little bit here, okay? When it comes to teaching, right, what do you think are some things that our generation need to know growing up today in today's society? And what are some things that you think every person should know going forward? Not just fantasy football, because that's obviously a very important topic, but what are some things some lessons you think people need to know?
I think people just need to understand when it comes to history, you have to understand and see how things have changed from the past to the present. And just because something happened 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, we still would deal with some of those effects, whether positively or negatively. First thing we're going to look at, the iPhone, okay? Remember the old phones we used to have in the cord on the wall?
Yeah.
Okay, they went from that to this. I can take this everywhere. iPhones have changed. We see cars, computers, all those things have changed. I think we need to understand as a country and see how some things in the past have affected and changed stuff. And also, I feel like we need to understand things from different perspectives, okay? When we look at many different topics, we're like, okay, yeah, we see it from the American perspective. Or if we're looking at, let's say, ancient Rome or ancient Greece or ancient Ethiopia, we're looking from their perspective. Because a lot of times history is written by those people who won. But I think we need to take the blinders off and see, okay, how did this affect this group of people? What did this do here? Things like that. So I feel like I always pride myself in helping my students see things from multiple areas.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in life, we just get our one perspective. And I tell my kids all the time, there's so much more outside of Liberty, Missouri. There's so much more outside of Kansas City, Missouri. There's so much outside of America in general.
Yeah.
Many people live different lives, have different thought processes, have different ideologies, have different understandings of how things should and should not work. And I feel like as a whole, people need to be more well-versed to understand. Because a lot of times we see today, people think you can do things in America, and you go to another country, you get thrown in jail.
Yeah.
So I want them to understand and see, like, hey, let's see how things affect people from multiple perspectives. It doesn't matter, like, what it is. Everyone's going to take something. So, like, if I say something about your fantasy football rankings, you may get mad, but let's say our friend Dante be like, oh, yeah, he's right. Again, everyone has a different perspective on how things.
Do you believe history repeats itself?
I would agree in certain areas and aspects it does. It is one of the first things I pose to my students every single year, and there's prompts around the room. They have to write down what are these 6 different prompts of why we study history, and pretty much every year, about good 90% of the class will gravitate towards that one topic or one quote on the wall that says history repeats itself, and they'll give their examples and their reasonings. And I would agree, they're right. And also I would say, too, is that things repeat themselves in their own different way, area or facet. So
Yeah. I believe that history can repeat itself,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe we can also change the way it repeats itself. I think that we
I
have
agree.
a choice and it's destiny. And, I'll tell you that there are some people that, look at the world today and, we have real problems going on today, whether it's, Ukraine, whether it's, North Korea and all these different things, not to get into politics, but people are like, oh, well, we're going to have another world war, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily think that it always has to repeat itself. And I think that the choice, the destiny of our world is in our hands to be able to try to make a difference, right? And to try to maybe make the good things repeat themselves, but maybe not necessarily the bad things.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing we hope for. I mean, there's a lot of decisions that are made that are way above us, but you can just kind of just hope and pray and be like, hey, hopefully we can get through these different things. But it's a lot of the same problems. I mean, things from 100, 200, 300 years ago doesn't matter. The country are still affecting us in one way or another. So
Yeah. No, I feel that. that. Okay, so let me ask you this question. So you're a man of faith, correct? Okay. What does that mean to you in your life, whether it's as a teacher, as the way you carry yourself? And it doesn't have to, I want to clarify this too, it doesn't have to be like Christ specific, but how does your faith impact you as a man today going forward?
Well, just growing up as a Christian, being a Christian, just kind of maturing through faith. I've realized really quickly in life, everything is going to happen for a reason, and God's going to have me go through different trials and tribulations to get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And looking back, especially over the last, I'd say, 4 months or so, some things have happened where I haven't been happy with the results, but I was able to look back and see, I'm like, okay, you know what? Things didn't work out with this person, or this didn't work out here. I was expecting to get something, but this is an opportunity to learn and grow. I think most of the times, a lot of young men, even young women, we do a lot of comparing ourselves to each other. So someone may be like, oh, I want this because they have this, or my friend just got married. Well, I want to be married too. Here's the thing, Chris. We're all running our race against ourselves. Okay, everyone has a different background. Everyone has having a different belief, different ideology. And I realize God's going to have a different plan for me than he may have for you or for anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's important to me because I've realized really quickly, I could sit there and be worrying about this and this and this. So I got to sit back and be thankful. Okay, a lot of people would want to be in the position we're in right now.
Yeah.
And they're in other countries dealing with all
Absolutely.
craziness going on. So it's just one of those different things. You have to put things in perspective. Yeah, you might want to have all these different things. You may be married, you want to have all this money and stuff. But I personally, God's going to have you where you need to be in life. And yeah, there may be things you want, but it's important to pray and realizing taking things slowly.
I like to think about, talking about faith and things like that. People say things happen for reasons, and they may very well happen for reasons. I believe things happen for reasons. Some people believe nothing happens for reason, But I think the biggest thing, in my opinion, is learning to give reason to the things that happen to you, right? Being able to take something that happens to you in life, right? And instead of just reacting to it, looking at it, sitting back, reflecting, and saying, okay, how can I use this going forward,
Exactly.
right? Because life isn't perfect. Spoiler, it's not.
It's not. Not even close.
You might fail a test. You might have your car break down. You might lose a loved one, at an early age. And the fact is that things happen in life, and we can't explain everything that happens. There may be a reason why, and I believe there always is. But the truth is that if you search for that reason why your entire life, you're going to be going down a rabbit hole that's really hard.
And one thing I would say that I've learned, kind of God has helped me see things in the light. He's going to give you these certain issues and problems for a reason because you could handle it.
Yeah.
So my problems may be different from what you deal with, but God knows we can handle these different things. And that's what I kind of, when I go into my work and stuff and try to help people, is like, I'm here to support you. Like, I realized very quickly in the teaching profession, the coaching profession, just in things in general, a lot of people don't get the encouragement they need. Yeah. So I'm big on encouragement because a lot of people just don't get that.
Yeah.
And what little can go a long way. And I realized just being a Christian like that, like, I'll send you a Bible verse. Like, I tell you, hey, things are going really bad. I can tell you're stressed. I'm like, hey, man, here's a Bible verse to keep your head up. Or I'll pray with my friends and things like that because ultimately what I learned is it's best to be surrounded by people who are like-minded that can help build you up. Yeah. We live in a society where people are like, tear down, tear down, tear down. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, not everyone's going to agree with religious understandings politically or things like that, but I do believe we do have to have some humanity and to help people in a time of need.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a really good point, and I think you just have to learn to give reason to the things that happen to you, right? You know, I mean, I'll remember, you know, one of the first tests, since we're kind of on the topic of school and stuff, being a teacher, one of the first tests I failed was senior year of high school, and I guess I didn't fail it, but I got a pretty bad grade on my calculus test.
Calculus is hard.
Yeah,
Math is not fun.
Mr. Barnard back in the day, man, and he pulled me aside and he's like, Chris, what did you expect? And I'm like, what you mean? He goes, hard work beats talent every day. And he's like, I understand you're intelligent, all these things, but if you're not willing to put in the work, it's not going to make a difference, you know? And so I think from that moment forward for me, I realized that hard work beats talent every day. And you can be the most talented person in the room, right? You can be the most talented drummer, right? Do all these cool things, you know, be drumming around, all these things, but if you don't practice every day, if you don't put in the work, it's not going to make a difference.
And that's something I tell my students. I said, you will... inevitably, you will probably fail a test in school in general, but it's how you handle the adversity, what you do after it. Either you can realize, okay, did I go down this checklist? Did I study? Was I playing games when Mr. London was talking? Was I doing this? Was I doing that? Okay, these are the different things I'm doing. All right, either I can do the same things and get the same result, or I can make the changes and do better. Because I teach freshmen and sophomore. So I'm realizing really quickly, I'm trying to give you guys a foundation of building blocks of analyzing, explaining things in detail to prepare you when you get to those upper level classes and just in life in general, giving you a broader sense of understanding. Because again, not everyone's going to have the same thought process. So I just tell them like, hey, every opportunity is a learning experience. So.
Now, I want to bring this up a little bit lighter here, okay? You're a wrestling coach. Do you or do you not believe that the WWE is wrestling?
I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just not going to say much because the people like it. Here's my thing. If you enjoy it, awesome and great. But from what little I have seen, I don't think it's real. That's just me personally. I have not really watched it, and I can see already your face is already getting red like Bob the Tomato, like when I beat you in the playoffs. But hey, if people enjoy it, you enjoy it.
Look, all I'm saying.
What's WWE stand for?
The World Wrestling. Well, hold up here.
What's it stand for?
Let's know this. Let's hear this.
Gives you the answer.
It's not worldwide entertainment, that's for sure. But it is worldwide entertainment. You know, that's what I'm going to
Entertainment?
It's great. The WWE is incredible. First off.
World Wrestling Entertainment.
Hey.
Entertainment. It's not real.
So all that stuff with the Rock and them is
fake?
fake?
You, Colton. I appreciate it.
Because right now they got the World Championships going on.
But hold up,
and that is real. These guys are actually fighting
take in
to
the
win.
fact that it's fun to watch. Like nothing's better than you're watching wrestling and you're
I mean,
and all of a sudden
John Cena comes and The Rock is cool and all that, but that is my opinion. People don't. To me, that's scripted. I prefer to watch the World Wrestling Championships. Thank you.
Many people have come out and said, like we have to follow the scripts. Like there's some improv in like the middle while they're fighting. They're called spots.
Do you want to know what's not? Do you want to know what's not scripted?
What?
The World Wrestling Championships right now that's happening between all the nations.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
I mean, I haven't really got to watch much because it's happening at 2, 3 in the morning when I've been asleep. But from what I've seen, Team USA is doing pretty good. I mean, it's been looking really good for the most part. My hope is they post some of the matches on Flow Wrestling so I can watch that. But that is actually real. You got guys that are in high school that are beating up on grown men. One guy, Jack Force for the United States. So that's really good. So I'm happy with the progress, but the guy I really want to watch is going to be wrestling tomorrow. And that's David Carr. He wrestled Iowa State, 2-time national champion, world team member. And that's the guy who I really want to see because he ended up doing pretty well at the world trials, ended up beating the guy who beat him. So I'm just excited to see what's going to happen there with that.
Now you're a bit of a wrestler too. And you've done a little bit of your fair share. I've wrestled a few years too, but let me just ask you this question. What do you think is the number one quality attribute a wrestler has to have to be successful?
You got to have resilience. There's going to be some times where you are going to do really, really well.
Right there on the microphone.
Resilience. There will be some times where you can do really, really well, and there are going to be some times that you are going to be struggle, but it's how do you handle those times, okay? You may beat this guy in a tournament really, really bad, and you may wrestle him in districts or in state and get beat up and lose. But what happens, again, you have a fork in the road. What are you going to do? Are you going to get better or you're not going to get better, okay? Because in situations in life, like we tell our kids all the time, hey, you got the door of success. Either you're going to go through it or someone's going to drag you through that door of success. So the option is yours. And I think that's help kids realize if I can get through a wrestling season, if I can be successful, I'm not talking about wins and losses. I can be successful and have some steady growth and improve upon things, and I can do good with eating a good diet, eating a healthy diet, making sure I'm taking care of and taking things seriously. What you're going to see is that you're going to be prepared for life. I'm not asking for all these wins. I'm not asking for all these losses and things that come on. But I'm trying to say, how do you prepare and change as a person?
You mentioned diet for wrestling, and that took me back on a flashback, man. I mean, there's nothing worse.
Did you cut weight the right way?
No, of course not.
Well, that's the thing. People think, you should do all these different things. You have to still eat.
There's nothing worse.
Still have to eat.
There is nothing worse than the day before a wrestling match when you got to cut 6 pounds in one day. And
well, I would say it sounds like
oranges, and then you're spitting in a trash can for 90.
When I wrestled, I always made weight. Never had to do that, and also I made sure I was doing what I was supposed to.
I mean, I'm not fat. I'm not fat, but I definitely was at the time, though. Like, see, I wrestled like the 180 weight class, right? 182.
182,
yeah, 182, and that's like the weight class where you're pushing the threshold there between being, excuse my French, but a fat, right, and then being the super muscular guy. So your wrestling matches were either okay, or you got your absolute butt kicked every single time. And I'll tell you, you mentioned resilience, and I really think I would agree with you. I think having grit and resilience is probably some of the most important qualities of being a wrestler. And I'll tell you that the first season I wrestled, I didn't win a single match. But I can tell you that for me personally, I was so proud that I didn't quit.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I will say, will quit. And that's understandable. It's not, sport's not for everyone. Football's not for everyone. Once kids realize, I got to do all this stuff in the summer, and I'm not really getting to play. Do I really want to do this? Or same thing with wrestling. Like, I'm doing all this work and time, and it's not working.
Our cameraman's pointing to himself right now.
So, I mean, but the thing is this. Resilience is important. Like, you're going to run into some issues, whether it's on the wrestling mat or in school or at home or whatever. It's how you handle those different things.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you, I remember, you would see so many footballers, come in and try out for wrestling, and it's not even a tryout because you're on the team if you're but you'd see people quit left and right, and what I've realized is this: you can never pick, in my opinion, if you just look at a group of people, you can't pick out the quitters from the people that are in it, because it's not done by how fit you are. It's not done by what genetic gifts you have, your experience, all these things. It's about your heart, And when you see people who literally are playing middle linebacker for a high school quit on day 3, you know that there's something bigger to that. And I believe that that's having that heart. And it comes back to your why, right? What keeps you going in life, and what is your purpose, And so I think that if you can tie in whatever you got going in life to your why, you can go as far as you need to.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, again, we're going to come and deal with different things, but there's a lot of sports that will help you get to where you need to be in life, but also believe wrestling is the one that if you can get through a wrestling season and show some growth and development, I feel like you can get through pretty much almost anything.
So I'd like to ask everyone this question here, and I think it's a really great question that tells a lot about a person, but we all have a reason why in life, and a lot of times, people know that question. A lot of times people don't know those things. What would you say is your why for what you do? What is your reason in life?
Just for what I do.
What's your why? What's your anchor?
Like
what's
teaching,
the thing that keeps you going
coaching,
forward?
Just things in
Everything.
general. Well, I'll just lean back honestly on my faith. I mean, I'll say I'm here for this reason. I have accepted that I'm going to have these kids in my class for whatever reason God has them in there for me. So when I run into a difficult and challenging kid, I'm just like, okay, God, what are you trying to help me? Use me to help with these kids. And just in general, be a good role model and example. Because I feel like today's day and age, we have a lot of people that are not good role models. For whatever. It doesn't matter like what field of profession or industry or entertainment. Fake WWE, doesn't matter. But the point is this, like, you have to be a good role model to show these individuals and help them. So I feel like that's kind of allowed me to be like, okay, showing these kids, hey, this is how someone acts as a sign, this is what they're going to do. Will they get mad and irritated sometimes? Yes. But they still come back every day to try to make your life better and also to make sure things are taken care of.
I want you to finish this sentence for me, okay? The world needs blank. For this future generation coming. The world needs...
I think we need more empathy. We need to take the time to actually sit down and listen to what everyone's going to say. We're not going to agree with every single thing that people are going to agree with. There's things you agree with that I may not agree with, vice versa. But I think as a society, you got to sit down actually to hear what the person has to say and be able to be like, okay, we agree to disagree, and we can move on with our lives.
Yeah.
I think kind of what we see today, and this is it's always been in American society. It's not been the last 10 years. It's kind of always been there where if you and I get in an argument about something and let's say it causes a huge issue, we're going our separate ways and we're not going to talk to each other anymore.
Yeah.
And I think as a time, we just need to be like empathy. Okay. Yeah. We need to understand not everyone's going to see the same viewpoint. A lot of us can have a different understanding. You grew up differently than I grew up differently compared to how you grew up differently. But the point is that over time, we just need to be like, okay, this is what you say. That's fine. I may not agree with it because I may have facts to back it up, but I am able to be like, okay, that is fine. Yeah. At least we can agree to disagree. But fighting all different things, that's just not going to help anyone in general. So.
And I'll tell you too, and especially with mental health today, right? Being able to listen to a person and not just say, oh, I feel sorry for you, but to be able to say really, to try to open your heart to them, open your mind and try to understand what's going on. Try to be there for people and hold that person's hand when they're going through a hard time, I like that. The world needs empathy. Well, folks, first off, Caleb, I really appreciate your time today. It's been so awesome having you on the show. To answer the question, by the way, for trivia, the first American to win a Nobel Peace Prize, Colton.
Can I guess?
Wait, last guess. Go ahead.
It's on the Mount Rushmore.
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
Big American figure.
Big American. It was a lot of big American.
No, he's a big one.
He's a big one.
Come on, man.
Abraham Lincoln. No, okay.
Colton.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt, folks. Well, on that note, folks, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, friends, life never goes backward, only upward and onward, folks. Thank you all so much, Caleb. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right.